The first aircraft carrier's design was deficient in that the flight deck was straight, deficient in that a landing aircraft missing their resting cables resulted in a collision with parked aircraft forward of the landing area. Disastrous. Not a moment too soon, the British provided an innovation of the angled flight deck, which enabled aircraft that have bolted to have a clear path to getting airborne without the obstruction of parked aircraft. But in creating this great innovation, another challenge arose. The landing center line, canted 8 to 14 degrees left of the ship's course, meant that the pilots were chasing an infinite solution to stay on lineup with the angled landing area. From my own experience during daytime landings, chasing lineup is almost subconscious compared to flying the meatball and glide slope and maintaining angle of attack for airspeed. At night, however, it's a different challenge, and we again have the Brits to thank for an ingenious solution: drop lights, the unsung hero of night landings, in my opinion. Let's look at a 1976 cruise book photo taken from a helicopter of the Saratoga that will give us an appreciation for the geometry of the lineup challenge at night and tell an interesting story. The story is read from the activity underway on the flight deck and the churning wake. We can tell the ship is making way for a destination. Based on the position aircraft, we read that the flight deck is undergoing a respot for the next launch and recovery cycle. During respot, there is no need to churn up a wake like this unless the captain has an arrival time to make or is repositioning the ship in a designated op area. Otherwise, the ship would sit relatively quiet in the water until it was time to generate wind over the deck for launch and recovery. Forward on the flight deck, phantoms are positioned for start and taxi. Forward to the bow, catapults rigged with bridle assemblies that connect them to the catapult. The rest of the air wing uses a nose tow assembly and will launch off the two waist catapults when the phantoms clear forward. An A6 intruder, wings folded, is positioned on the port waist cat, prepared to start, spread wings, and launch. Towards the fantail, A6s, EA6s, and S3, and a bevy of A7s are positioned for startup and taxi forward to the waist cats. After they all launch, the landing area is clear and ready to recover the previous launch of 12 to 17 aircraft. While we cannot make out the Fresnel lens meatball, the green row of datum lights will be illuminated by the LSO to signal ready deck to the orbiting aircraft hawking the deck. That's the story we read from this one picture. Now I have scribed an arrow depicting the ship's BRC, base recovery course. Then we see the center line of the landing area on the angle. The BRC differs from the center line of the angle by 8 to 14 degrees, depending on the ship. Since the carrier Nimitz, built in 1968, angle decks have been 14 degrees off the keel, which defines the BRC. Next, I've enhanced the array of drop lights that drop from the ramp straight down. The purpose of the drop lights is to project a geometric shape that indicates lateral offset to the landing area center line. An ingenious application, again from the British, these lights are critical at night to project lineup information that is clearly discernible at 3/4 of a mile. An arrow point indicating fly right, fly left, or no arrow, you're dead on. So the offshoot of this is that there is a dynamic point in space that moves during a carrier approach that is created by the intersection of three planes: the glide slope, the center line, and the BRC. Kind of like balancing a book on a pencil point, eh?
Hi, I'm Wyatt. My master is a wimp. He wants me to do his begging for him. Well, I'm pretty good at that. Please, oh please, comment and give a thumbs up. Finally, subscribe at the Stork, please. Thank you.